Most e-commerce brands think they've got cart abandonment covered, but what they're really running is just the checkout abandonment flow. They're missing a huge chunk of buyers who never even made it to checkout. Worse, even brands that do have these flows set up are sending the same messaging in both flows. And that is leaving a ton of money on the table every single day. It blows my mind. In this video, we're gonna fix that. Alright, so abandoned cart versus abandoned checkout. Before we dive right into it, I like to flow my ideas and my insights and all of my strategies. I like to line it up on the customer journey, starting from visiting your website up until churning. Right, so if you watch my videos a lot in the past, you know that is where I get my insights from, where my strategy is from, so to speak. Everything should be rooted in the customer's context. If not, well, why are we doing marketing? Moving on. So added to cart, you can see there's a touch point on the customer journey that comes before purchasing, before orders have been placed, which is called the added, which is a point they add product to their cart. And then there's also a point where they proceed to checkout. This translates to these metrics from Shopify. And if you're not using Shopify for your CMS, you should still have these distinctive metrics coming from whatever CMS you're using, eCommerce or whatever, right? So you have one coming from Shopify added to cart, and then you have the one coming from Shopify called checkout started. Very distinctive, and they both flow. Thank God they both flow without any complexities, so to speak, into Klaviyo or whatever ESPs that you're using. Alright, so once we're clear on that, I'm going to dive right into each of these flows and how you should think of them and how exactly you should think of the messaging, what they should be made up of, and so on and so forth. So for your abandoned cart flow, the trigger is usually when the customer has product to cart. So the flow that we call the abandoned cart flow is the flow that triggers when a customer adds product to cart, not when they check out, or when they start checkout, or when they fill in their details at checkout. It has nothing to do with checkout. As soon as they add product to cart, they are being tracked. You need to leverage that. The problem is that most brands just don't leverage that. They simply just target people who added their details in checkout, just keep firing abandonment emails only to those people. They're leaving a chunk, like a big chunk of people who did not even get to check out, right? So this is going to help you cover your bases more squarely and so on and so forth. Yeah, so the trigger is they added the cart, they did not check out. The purpose is to remind, overcome objections, and push towards checkout. Like, the whole point of each flow is to push the customer down to the next point. The sooner you start thinking in terms of like, okay, let's push them over to the next one, rather than, oh, let's push them from here straight to purchase, things start to actually hit. Things start to actually be simplified. Things start to actually be clear on your path on what you need to say, and so on and so forth. So the number of emails I typically recommend for the abandoned cart flow, because it's a low intent, like it's not low intent so to speak, but compared to the abandoned checkout point in the customer journey, it's sort of like low. The intent is still sort of like low here. A window shopper can come on your website and just add product to cart, so on and so forth. So for the trigger, we're looking at add product to cart. For the timing, and this is subject to A/B testing, it's subject to specific branding, subject to specific positioning, and so on and so forth, specific niches and stuff. That's why I put a range here. The timing for your first email in your abandoned cart to go out to your audience is within 1 hour to 2 hours. Those are the sweet spot. You can go as high as 4 hours, but I wouldn't recommend anything above 2 hours because a lot of time has gone. So like or 1 hour, 2 hours, do your testing. You can do 1 hour 30 minutes, you can do 1 hour 45 minutes, you can do 2 hours. A/B test as much as you can for this. For the first email in the entire flow, you want to answer the question, what is the need for me? Specifically in terms of like product, if you're going to have the time to segment each emails per product, generally about the brand, what the brand has specifically to offer its customers. How do you do this? You map benefits to features, as simple as that. Email number 2, you want to, and don't forget, each email here has to show the dynamic abandoned cart items, because it keeps adding a form of like personality to the email, so you're not generically speaking. Email number 2, or you also want to show these abandoned cart items. You want to now articulate the brand's unique value propositions and unique selling propositions. Yeah, whichever one you think you want to do, right? You might use benefit stack, you might use feature stack. Just you might just use a copy. Just make sure you articulate it in clear wording. And then I typically just add an us versus them showcase to sort of like make our argument stronger. Email number 3, you want to of course show the abandoned, like I said, that goes without saying. And then at this point, you want to showcase social proof and UGC content, maybe before or after content, customer reviews, stack them on top of each other after the dynamic items have been shown, of course. Email number 4, you want to answer their frequently answered questions specifically to this journey, right? Not payment related FAQs. I'm talking order related FAQs. I'm talking shipping time related FAQs. I'm talking product related FAQs, things like that. You also want to mention guarantees and features here. As you can see, I sort of like have like a hue with these emails, a hue color tied to these emails. It's sort of like just an heuristic to show you how the intent of the customer wanes over time, right? So of course the delays will not be specifically 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, 1 hour, but I'm just focusing on the content right now in this video, right? So yeah, we were here. Yeah, showcase your social proof plus UGC content. Email number 4, you want to answer FAQs and mention your guarantee here and whatever guarantee features you have. Email number 5 is where you want to offer an incentive to purchase. As simple as that. If you're willing to offer an incentive, or if that particular product has a good margin that you're willing to offer an incentive for, or you can segment this as much as possible. You might only want to offer incentive to first-time buyers. You might only want to offer incentives to first-time to second-time buyers. There are ways that you can technically implement this in Klaviyo, and I'll get into a video down the line on how you can do that in Klaviyo, but for now we're talking strategy here. Offer an incentive to purchase. Don't do this often. Maybe just put a limit, a time limit to this incentive. Maybe if someone has received an incentive in a year before, you don't want them to ever receive an incentive again if they leave product in cart, things like that. There's so many filter triggers or flow filters that you can implement here for these 2 emails. And then finally, for email number 6, you want to remind them of the incentive, and then you want to leverage fear of missing out and urgency in the copy, right? You want to really drive it up, something like this ends in 24 hours, this ends in 3 hours, discount is expiring in 3 hours, blah blah blah, things like that. Works like magic. And then abandoned checkout flow, right? The trigger for this is they proceeded to checkout. They've added to cart, and then they proceeded to checkout, and then they filled in their details. That, at least that's what triggers it for Shopify. The purpose is to remind, be urgent, overcome objections, to push towards the final purchase. Sweet spot for the emails, 3 to 5 emails. Like I said here, fills in details at checkout is the trigger. For the timing between the trigger and the first email, I recommend shorter. Make it shorter than the abandoned cart email, because at this point they're very hot. Like they're very hot. Their intent is very high to purchase because they've already filled in their emails, right? So you want to really get them back as soon as possible. If not, there will be more important things that will just slide in and just take over that time. Like, you need to put urgency into this strategy, right? There's more urgency in the abandoned checkout flow than there is in the abandoned cart flow. So 30 minutes to 1 hour A/B tests, depending on your niche, depending on your brand. Email number 1, make it a text-only email. This usually works because, first of all, not only because of deliverability reasons, but also because of how personalized it is. Frame the email as a quick, low-friction next setup. Something about, oh, we have processed your order, just one more thing to finalize it, right? I can see, oh, you've gone through the order and you already packed it and you're asking for their details. Just frame it as that. That works like magic. And then for email number 2, you want to of course now go into a visual based email. Show the abandoned cart items, dynamic abandoned cart item, abandoned checkout items. remind them what's in it for them, and then show tons of contextual, passionate social proof right out of the bat. Yeah, I say passionate and contextual social proof because there are one-liner social proofs and review and testimonials usually don't drive as much purchase as the ones that are so contextual. They are so gushy about your brand, they're so passionate. Those are the reviews you want to add here. Add like 3 at least. Email number 3, you want to of course show abandoned cart items, that goes without saying. Then visually highlight the product plus payment flexibility. Very important for you to highlight the product plus payment flexibility, meaning how flexible your payments can be, how your returns are, things like that. You also want to answer FAQs related to payments, payment security, fee concerns. If you have Klarna and Afterpay options, make sure you highlight them in this email. Email number 4 goes without saying to show your abandoned cart items. But to top it all off, this is where you now sort of like offer an incentive to purchase. Yeah, depending, like I said, yes, very similar to this. And then for email number, I think this is 5, I should correct this. For number 5, you want to now remind them of that incentive, and then as usual, leverage FOMO and urgency to blast them through the final line. This is it. Anything but this is waste of time. This is what you do to fire an abandoned cart flow and an abandoned checkout flow that keeps bringing printing cash. And I also found time to like get a screenshot of a dashboard of a client. You can see here we already have an abandoned checkout reminder, and this is in over just a month. Yeah, this is in over a month, and you can see the abandoned checkout made about 57k and 130% increase over the course of, because we do a lot of A/B tests in the abandoned checkout. You see, and then the abandoned cart flow did about 18.7k, 138% increase, of course, over the course of 30 days. But you notice that the abandoned checkout is giving the most revenue, and it's also the most, it's the flow that we do the most A/B testing in, and so on and so forth. So optimize for the abandoned checkout, but don't leave the abandoned cart line helpless, so to speak. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope this video helps you a ton, and I hope you actually start dive into implementing these practical steps to improve your abandoned cart and abandoned checkout flow. And I hope you don't make the mistake ever again of conflating the two. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Thank you for watching this video. If you want someone to sort of go through all of this for you, or if you want to just talk, you can book in a call with me, or just leave a comment and I'll reply. See ya.